Hello everyone, I am Jose Anes from 5 Minute Agile. Today we will be talking about very common situations in Agile Scrum environments. The self-reproducing story and the never-ending story. The self-reproducing story is a story that is not very well defined at release planning, or for which very happy estimates were made that do not consider very important work such as documentation, unit tests, integration tests, automation, or the so-called hardening, or essentially making the product customer consumable. Very often, the development team ends up creating sequels to the original story to contain the work missing from the original, essentially the story just self-reproduced. This is a bad practice. Bear in mind that every iteration or sprint must be potentially releasable. As such, not completing all of these important tasks create serious problems. In a best-case scenario, it accrues what people have been calling technical debt or architectural blunders that will impact velocity in the future, be it in the next sprints or in a release down the road. In the worst-case scenario, we just compromise the quality and our ability to release on time. A less damaging, but still very inconvenient situation to be in is the never-ending story. This situation is common when the team has taken more than they can chew on. Typically that happens when the team has problems estimating the size of the story. The result is that in order to attempt to complete the sprint, shortcuts are made. If the product owner is responsible, he should not be accepting these stories, which in turn get carried forward into the next sprint. That snowplows the development effort into the time allocated for other functionality. This tends to demoralize both the team, who do not see progress for the sprint, and customers who do not receive the functionality they were expecting. Consider the things that you should include as part of the acceptance criteria of a story. This should be implied. You should not have to tell people that they need to be done before you accept a story. Code completion, unit testing, code review, integration testing, performance and automation testing, documentation, it has to be checked in and it has to be approved by the product owner in a demo. I'm sure you can find others that should be implied acceptance criteria. Most importantly, you must enforce that a finished story should be potentially shippable. All of this is easier said than done. You may want to temporarily list these items as part of the acceptance criteria so that the team takes them into consideration while sizing stories. Ultimately, some of them should become tasks in the story itself. Soon enough, you will discover that the best way to keep these problems under control is by keeping stories at a manageable size. We will talk about story splitting strategies in another episode. Suffice to say that if you think that one or more engineers will be occupied with a story for more than half of the sprint, you should consider splitting or redefining the story into something that provides modest value but reduces the risk of not being finished during the sprint. You should also make stories easier to swarm into, build up the tasks so that they can be worked in parallel. Tests, for example, could be coded by one person, while the actual code may be coded by another. Finally, understand that these problems will happen. I would advise you to be brave and not accept a story that is not done, completely done. We all learn from failure, and hopefully that helps us redefine the stories into more manageable chunks in future sprints. Thank you for watching. I am Jose Anes from 5 Minute Agile. I hope this presentation has helped you improve your Agile Scrum team. Thank you.